Hello, everybody. My name is Michael King, and I am joined here by Dr. Luke here at ClearSight. Dr. Luke, you want to say hi to everybody?
Yep. Thank you, Michael. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here, and thanks for joining.
Excellent. And just a couple quick little bits about housekeeping. First of all, thank you so much for joining the webinar. For attending the webinar, you'll be able to kind of take advantage of $1,000 off savings, which Robin will go through, and I'll talk a little bit later about how we're going to get that to you. But one of the main things that when we're doing a webinar that we always like to kind of let a prospective patient know is that your outcome today really should be not about saying, yes, I'm ready to go forward and do LASIK. If you are there, that's great. We'd love to help you out. But really for where you might be at, it's an ideal outcome would be, would you like to find out if you're a candidate? And that's generally the right first step. It's absolutely complimentary at our practice, and I would love to invite you in. And at the end of the webinar, we'll give you that invitation. So Dr. Luke, is there anything else before we get started, you'd like to say to the attendees?
No, I think that was great, Michael. I mean, our goal is to provide the best outcome for people, and it's in order to do that, we need to first make sure that they're a candidate.
Absolutely. And you know, when you've come to this point of kind of attending a webinar, and maybe you've thought about deciding to have laser vision correction, there's typically 4 reasons that we have found that a prospective patient considers it. The obvious one on the top left there is the freedom from having to, the burden of wearing glasses and contact lenses. And so from a lifestyle perspective, maybe you want to get a better golf shot, or maybe you want to wake up and be able to see the alarm clock, or maybe you just want to hold your children without having to fiddle around with your glasses and contacts. And so whatever the reason is for you, that's your reason, and we really encourage you to kind of tap into that, because we obviously are extremely excited about the work that we get to do and the freedom we give to our patients, but it's also about your story as well. And so there is a time savings also to consider, that over your lifetime, having to fiddle around with those glasses and contacts every night and getting new solution and going to the doctor, that ends, it's to kind of weigh over you over a period of time. And there's also cost savings. Over your lifetime, you're able to really save on how much you're spending on corrective lenses. Dr. Luke, is there any other reasons or any additional points you'd like to add on why you find that patients choose laser vision correction?
Michael, I think I hear a new reason every day. For my all of them are great. I think for me the most important thing was freedom. I always felt burdened by my glasses and contacts, and I'm very much an outdoors person, and it's improved. I now feel freer, as well as I have an improved lifestyle. And I tell you what, I personally would never go back, and I love hearing stories from each and every person who comes through.
Absolutely. And speaking of stories, one of the things we highly encourage you to do is take a look online and on our Facebook or Yelp or Google page, and just read some of the stories that we have. And we've got a lot of video testimonials that you can be able to watch as well. We really do pride ourselves on the care that we give, and it's always a joy for us to be able to have happy patients and to have them to be able to share their story with people like yourself. So definitely check that out and be able just to kind of see what that experience is like for you. So to kind of bring it back again to you as the attendee, the question becomes, why are you considering laser vision correction? Granted, right now we're in the summertime, so you're not going to get too much rain, but if you've ever been in an environment that is rainy, you can find that if you're wearing glasses, it gets a little smudgy. Right now we're in summertime, and if you don't have a pair of prescription sunglasses, well, you're going to have to have a lower quality of vision by just using something off the shelf. And so that does get a little bit annoying when you're not able to see things in this beautiful weather as much as you should. And if you've had the unfortunate issue of breaking your glasses, well, you know what that's all about. One thing as I'm doing this that I'd highly encourage for you to do, and I didn't mention on the front side, is questions. And that's one of the things that Dr. Luke and I love doing the most, is answering the specific questions that potential patients have. So if you would like, just kind of post any question you have for Dr. Luke and I, and we'll go through those a little bit later on. But we've got 5 or so that we'll start it out with, but definitely ask any questions that you've got. So moving on, obviously glasses aren't convenient if you fall asleep and you wear them. And then, the other one is contact lenses, just a bit of a hassle. So Dr. Luke, how about from what you're hearing from patients, like when they're sitting there and they're just about to go in and have the procedure done and you're chatting with them beforehand, is there a specific event you found that patients say, like, this is what caused me to choose to do LASIK or laser vision correction, or what do you find are some of the reasons you're hearing?
There are primarily 2 reasons that I see. And number one, people are just tired of the hassle of glasses and contact lenses. They've become intolerant. Both allergies and eye dryness are making contact lenses very difficult to wear, and they don't want to go back to glasses because they know that the vision's not quite as good. Or number 2, there was some sort of event where they broke their glasses or they lost their contacts, and they didn't feel as safe and secure as they did otherwise. They were on vacation, they were at the beach, and they just wanted to make sure that wouldn't happen again. One interesting thing about contact lenses is that there've been a number of studies that have come out showing that LASIK is actually a lot safer than contacts, and it causes a lot less dry eye than contact lenses. There's nothing wrong with contacts per se, but LASIK has become so safe that and it provides a better quality of vision than glasses or contacts ever could.
Absolutely, it's pretty amazing. And with contact lenses, there's also another issue that over wearing them for years, patients can find that their eyes get dry and that it just gets to be a little bit annoying, or maybe they don't fit as well as they used to, or the quality of your vision isn't quite as sharp as it used to. And generally, these are some of the reasons that we find that a patient, chooses, or kind of wants to find an alternative. And so this is the point in the webinar that we enjoy the most, which is where we're able to dig in and answer any and all questions. We know that it takes a little while for somebody to decide to have this procedure done, and typically there's going to be a few questions that are in their mind, and no question is a bad question. They're all fair game, and again, I'd highly encourage you, as we're going through this, and I'll pop up the top 5 questions right now, but as we're going through this, if you see that your question's not on there, and here they are, please do post it in the questions field, and I'll be kind of moderating those to Dr. Luke. So Dr. Luke, back to you. If we could talk about the procedure, and let's say you're a patient and you just had the procedure done, and what could they expect in the first few hours to, let's say, the first few days afterwards from a recovery perspective?
Absolutely. So the procedure itself only takes about 10 to 15 minutes. It's very comfortable. You feel some pressure. That's about it. Immediately afterward, typically your vision is better, but it's not perfect. It takes somewhere between 12 and 24 hours for most of your kind of haziness and cloudiness to resolve. But almost invariably, people are able to see much better than even when they walk through the door. There's some scratchiness and some irritations, typically not very bad for the first 12 to 24 hours. There can be some eye dryness and some that can persist for a couple months, but for the most part, it's not very irritating at all. The most important thing is to avoid swimming pools and hot tubs for the first couple of weeks. Other than that, most people are able to go back to most of their normal activities within the next 24 to 48 hours.
Excellent. And when it comes to a question I know that we've gotten a lot, which is this a permanent procedure? So is this something that someone needs to constantly have redone, or what's your answer to that question?
Absolutely. So LASIK has really evolved in the last 10 to 15 years. Years ago, LASIK only treated the central part of the cornea. Now LASIK treats the entire cornea. So it's the changes that we make typically are permanent. Now there are other parts of the eye that can change. Most notably being the lens inside the eye, the device or the part of the eye that allows you to zoom back and forth. That typically does age over time, and that can affect the vision. But LASIK is permanent for almost everyone. Excellent.
And question number 3, which is one that I know is one of your favorites because of the different options that we provide here at ClearSight for those of us who are past the age of 40 and who maybe they're kind of finding their reading vision is as good as it used to be. So what are their options to be able to correct their reading vision here at ClearSight?
Well, I tell you what, this is probably my my favorite question, because it's exciting. I mean, 5 years ago we didn't have near as many options for people over the age of 40. Number one, we can do LASIK. LASIK can give you great distance vision, but because of that, those lens changes that I alluded to prior, you typically need reading glasses. We can do a monovision, one eye for distance, one eye for near, but now we have corneal inlays, lens replacements, and other procedures that can really give you your, essentially the same vision that you had when you were 20. And frankly, these are some of my happiest patients.
Absolutely. With respect to number 4 on cost, a little bit later on the webinar, I'll bring Robin in, and she'll be able to kind of talk a little bit more about pricing, and as well as just financing and other options. A few more questions for you, Dr. Luke, is safety. So how safe is this procedure, and what are some of the things that the lasers have to kind of ensure that safety during someone's procedure?
Absolutely. So LASIK has been determined to be the most effective elective procedure in the world. There's nothing better. It has the highest satisfaction rate of any procedure in the world. There's no such thing as a zero-risk procedure, but LASIK is getting pretty darn close. Now of course, we invest in the best technology. We have eye trackers that actually scan your eye 1,000 times a second. We use a little device that helps hold everything in place so the patient doesn't have to worry about it. And we ourselves follow each and every patient through the whole process to make sure that they're healing correctly. And there's very little that we can't cure and help these days.
Excellent. And we've got a question here from Timothy. Great question, Timothy, by the way. So what he said, Dr. Luke, is I'm having LASIK done now. When I'm older, will I have reading problems and be able to get that corrected, or will I have to wear glasses? I'm assuming for reading. Will you have to wear reading glasses? What's your take on that one?
That's a great question. So everyone has lens changes throughout their lives. Now with LASIK, we do change the shape of the cornea, and in some people it can limit your future options, but it's very, very rare. If the only reason that future options would be limited is if your cornea was very thin or there wasn't much that we could work with, but that would have been discussed when you have LASIK. So it's almost any one of our procedures can be done even if you have LASIK now.
Got it. A question for you is if a patient's nervous, one of the common questions we get is if they're able to, do we provide a sedative or something to help out with any sort of anxiety they have during the procedure?
Absolutely. So we actually we have 3 wonderful ways to make you more relaxed. So number 1, we do use medication, and number 2, we play music during the procedure in order to allow you to relax. You get to choose that. And number 3, we have I like to argue that we have some of the best staff in the world, and each and every one of them cares about every person who comes through our practice, and that is very comforting in itself.
Absolutely. A question here is, I know it's a common one that we haven't, that we get from patients, is about night vision, and maybe they've heard about patients in the past that they know maybe in years past have had LASIK and maybe have night vision issues with glare and halo. So could we talk a little bit about the technology today and how it's able to mitigate that issue?
Absolutely. So as I alluded to before, with previous technologies, older technologies, we didn't treat the entire cornea. We just got rid of nearsightedness or astigmatism or farsightedness. Now we have technology that can actually improve the shape of the cornea, can improve your night vision. And on patients over the age of 40, there are lens replacements that can absolutely improve your night vision. So there's always a very small chance it can be worsened, but most people actually have improved night vision after LASIK.
Excellent. And then a final one, which I would have, which goes to dry eye. So is dryness of your eye something that somebody needs to be worried about post-LASIK, or what are the options and kind of what should they expect on how dry their eyes might be after the procedure?
Absolutely. So this is an interesting question. So there have been a number of studies that have shown that LASIK causes, or that LASIK does cause dry eye in the short term. That short term typically is between 2 and 6 months, and for most people it's not that bad. If you've had dry eyes before LASIK, chances are LASIK is not going to cure that. However, the dryness that's caused by contact lenses is much worse than anything that would ever be caused by LASIK. According to FDA studies, 99.5% of people do not have increased dryness. If anything, their dryness has improved after LASIK, after they've healed. There's a 0.5% chance that dryness can last beyond a year. Extremely rare, but it's possible.
Excellent. And again, it's actually there was another question I wanted to ask is, could we talk a little bit about the difference between PRK and LASIK, and sort of under what conditions? Thank you, Brianna, for that question. That somebody would choose, or we would help to choose LASIK for them, which would be the appropriate choice, versus PRK. And I guess coupling that, maybe we could talk a little bit about expectations on recovery as well.
Absolutely. So let me start by saying that at 3 months, whether you have LASIK or PRK, the results are exactly the same. The greatest benefit of LASIK is that you have a faster healing process. LASIK is typically better for farsighted treatments or astigmatism treatments. Now, in our practice, we typically use PRK in patients who have thinner corneas, or for those who have a reason to have, one of 5 or 6 reasons that we can't do LASIK. Now, it doesn't mean that that PRK is a worse procedure. It just means that the healing process is a little bit more slower. Typically with PRK, your vision is improved on day 1, and then there's just a slower healing process after that. Whereas with LASIK, your vision is much better on day 1, and it continues to improve, but there's not as much to improve.
Excellent. And again, so I'm going to move on to the next slide, but again, I highly encourage you, if after hearing all these questions, if there's an additional one that you have or anything you'd like to ask Dr. Luke or myself, please do post it in the questions function there. We love to get as many questions as you've got. So to couple on to what Dr. Luke said earlier, here's just a sort of a quote from that study that was done from Oregon Health and Science University. And really, with contact lenses, as much as we'd like to believe we have clean hands and whatnot when we're putting them in and taking them out, a lot of people don't. And so that kind of runs the risk of having some sort of bacterial infections and just all the other infections that potentially can be caused. And so, Dr. Luke, I'd like to kind of revisit this one with you. And so, any additional thoughts about the health risks of contact lenses compared to LASIK?
Absolutely, and I love this slide because it shows that although contact lenses work very well for many people, number one, they don't provide the same quality of vision that LASIK does, and number two, there are risks. The risk profile or the chances of something bad happening with LASIK are much lower than any of these here. The newest study suggests that LASIK is about 1/8 the risk of wearing contact lenses.
Wow. Yeah, it's now that being said, it still means there's still a little bit of fear and anxiety and that patients have about this procedure, and we totally understand that, and that's one of the reasons why we do webinars like these, and that's again the other reason why the right first step for anybody is to say, okay, medically speaking, are you a good candidate? And I think that just provides you with that additional level of information to know whether or not this is right for you. And so this is Robin, where I'll bring you in and where we can talk about pricing for this for the procedure, and also talk about what we're doing that's a little special and for the attendees, and then also financing. So I'll turn it over to you, Robin, please.
Thank you, Michael, very much. Right now, most people typically can have LASIK somewhere between that $3,800 to $4,900 price range. And currently, for this summer, we actually are offering a special financing opportunity where you could actually do 0 down, 0% interest for 3 full years with approved credit. So that gives you an option to have our all-inclusive LASIK plan that includes everything with payments around $139 a month.
Excellent. And if you have any questions about any of this, please just to kind of put it in the questions field, and Robin and I will jump onto that one. On the slide here is a couple of observations, and one of which is just to think through, not only there's the inconvenience of wearing glasses and contacts, but this is what I was alluding to earlier, that there is additional savings over your lifetime of not having to wear glasses and contacts. It's just, for us, it's again, it's a joy in doing what we get to do, and we'd be honored to be able to help you out any way we can. So this is kind of piggybacks onto what we mentioned about contact lenses versus LASIK, which is about the safety of the actual procedure itself. So Dr. Luke, just anything additional on kind of looking at the study from the FDA here about 95% with the results of 2020, but what type of results are you currently seeing right now and sort of from the patients that we're treating?
Absolutely. So I was actually involved in this study during my training and in the research that I've done. Probably the most important thing about this study is that it was all done with modern technology. This is not the LASIK of 15, 20 years ago. This is all done with the newest, latest, and greatest, if you will. But these are, I mean, if anything, I would say that our results are probably even better than this. This is a wonderfully done study, but even since then, there's been new technology and new methods that allow your vision to be even better than the perfection that they had back then.
Absolutely. And here's a slide which we kind of put at the end because really this is about your journey, but we do get questions from time to time, which is how are we different? And so, obviously we're biased, of course, but here's just some actual, some real tangible differences about, why we believe we'd love to be the right choice for you for your vision care. But when you're also, these things are nice to look at, but it really comes down to, again, taking a look at what other people are saying about their experience. And again, that's what I mentioned earlier, to go to Facebook, Yelp, or Google and to read kind of what other patients are saying. And so, Dr. Luke, this is my favorite slide, where we get to talk about you and just the passion and empathy and care that you give for our patients. We're really grateful for that, and I'd love for you to kind of talk a little bit about your story. And so what got you into making the decision to not only be an ophthalmologist but to really go forward and specialize in this area, and I'm sure people on the webinar would love to hear that.
Well, thank you, Michael. I had LASIK myself back in 2009, and it was one of the greatest decisions I've ever made. My wife will, of course, say that was the second best decision I ever made. It all started when I was young. I started wearing glasses when I was 6 years old. I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to be a baseball player, of course, and glasses always got in the way. I never quite saw well enough, and I remember, it's kind of funny, but I remember watching Star Trek when I was a kid, and nobody wore glasses there, and I thought, well, gosh, wouldn't it be nice if there was some way that we could do this and I could get rid of these glasses and contacts. Well, as I went through medical school, I had more and more trouble wearing contact lenses due to allergies and some dryness, and I finally had LASIK myself, and one of the best decisions I've ever made. I have no dry eyes, and I see better than 20/20, and I would never go back. It's a whole new world out there. And after having that experience, I wanted to proceed myself and do this for other people. So I decided to specialize first as an ophthalmologist, an eye surgeon, and then further specialize into vision correction, or LASIK. And with all of the new technology out there, it's exciting. I love being a surgeon, but my favorite day is not the day of surgery; it's the day afterward. It's where I get to see everybody's successes, how happy they are, and their story. It's it's a lot. It brings a tear to my eye sometimes, and it's kind of hard to admit that sometimes. But it's I love the people that we take care of.
Excellent. And again, as I posted, we're kind of nearing the end of our content, and really, I do want to encourage, if you do have any additional questions that you would like to ask Dr. Luke, I'll moderate those as we kind of wind things down. As I mentioned, again, here's some very kind words that patients of ours have said. As I mentioned, we'd love for you to check us out online. And this is really a procedure when you're making the decision that you just want to feel supported. You don't want to feel pressure. You want to just get the facts and decide if it's right for you. And if it's not, that's totally fine. If it is, then we'd love to serve you. So while I'm kind of checking out and seeing any additional questions, here's the invitation for you, which is that we would love for you to come into our practice and give us that opportunity to not only find out if, medically speaking, you are a good candidate, but really just to give you that additional opportunity to ask questions and make sure this is the right decision for you in your life. And so while I'm just kind of bouncing over, I've got another question here from Timothy. how old do you have to be to get LASIK? What's the answer on that one, Dr. Luke?
No, that's a great question. So we want your eyes to be stable. Everyone's eyes become larger over time. Men typically stabilize a little bit later than women. Women typically stabilize around the age of 17 to 18, and men typically stabilize 18 to 19. So everyone's different. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier, many times it's a little bit later, but typically by your early 20s, many times even by the age of 20, your eyes are stable enough to have LASIK.
Excellent. And Babana, I see that you had raised your hand in the little button. If you have a question, there is a little, either in the chat or in the questions function, you can be able to ask that question there. So I'll give you a second to ask that question if you like. But again, if you are keen on wanting to kind of move to the next step, again, that no obligation complimentary evaluation, you can call our number right there, and also you are welcome to schedule online as well. So while we're giving attendees an opportunity just to see if there's any final questions, Dr. Luke, if for those people who are kind of at that stage right now where they've spent a half hour with us and they're considering to do this procedure, what sort of words of wisdom would you be able to depart with them with today? What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank everybody for being here. This is exciting for us. We get to live the dream, as they say. It's, this is a personal decision. I would argue that most people or the vast majority of people are extremely excited once they've done this, and we just want to make sure that it's right for you.
Excellent. And so, I don't see any additional questions, which is totally fine. But if you do have any and they kind of come to mind, please feel free to give us a call or just reach out to us anytime. We're here to serve you. So on that note, I do want to give a lot of gratitude and thank you for spending time with us. I know your time is precious. So on that note, any final thoughts, Dr. Luke, before we break? Are we good?
No, thank you all again, and I appreciate you taking your time out of your day.
Oh, and actually, I do have one question. Babana was able to get it in, so I'll get that last question. So, question was, how is our LASIK different than others? And I know there's a few different ways we can take that question, so I'm not sure exactly what your thoughts are, but what's your, I guess the question is well, as a procedure, our LASIK would be pretty close to the other options that are out there, but what's your feel on that question, Dr. Luke?
No, that's a great question. No, I think what makes us unique is number one, our investment in technology. We have every diagnostic that to make sure that this is the right procedure for people. Number two, we have the technology to do other procedures if LASIK is not a good option. And number three, we have some of the most experienced doctors in the region. And so, even though LASIK is a wonderful and a modern procedure, we have the experience to do whatever is right for each and every person. Excellent.
And oh, it looks like we have another Babana, thank you. I appreciate that. So thank you again, everybody. I really appreciate you taking time with us here today. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll look forward to serving you at any time. So on that note, Dr. Luke, thanks again for your time today, and I really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much.
All right. Bye, everybody.